Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to last week's Homework Tonight with our special guest, Mrs. Jennifer Myers. Welcome to the studio, Mrs. Myers. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me here.
It is our pleasure. How about you start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, I'd love to. I'm originally from Long Island, New York, but I've been in Florida for the last 35 years, so I consider myself a Floridian. All of my beautiful daughters are natives. My husband, Neil, is a fire chief with Palm Beach Gardens, and I homeschooled my girls, and now 2 of them are currently in college at Palm Beach Atlantic University, the best college ever, and my oldest daughter graduated from Lipscomb University with a degree in animation.
Wow, 3 girls. What made you decide to homeschool?
Well, we had a couple of friends who were homeschooling their kids, and they talked about how much fun it was and how much they got to guide the education and have the kids learn the things they wanted to learn without a lot of the drudgery of the day-to-day school life. We prayed a lot about it to decide if it was something that would be good for our family, and we decided it was.
All right, well, what's one thing that you loved about homeschooling? Just something that made the experience fun?
One thing I loved about homeschooling was the field trips. When you go to public school in Palm Beach County, the teachers are allowed to do 2 field trips a year. Well, I had a theory that we should do at least 2 a month. My favorite thing that we ever did as homeschoolers was the girls were interested in dolphins. So we went to see Winter, the dolphin. He had a movie at the time. So we went to see the movie. We did study sheets on it, learned all about dolphins. We went to Clearwater, Florida, to the aquarium to see the dolphins. And then when we were on a cruise, we got to actually swim with the dolphins. So the girls absolutely know everything there is to know about dolphins, and we had a great time.
Educational vacation, that does sound like fun. What was the biggest hurdle you would say you faced, the most difficult thing that you struggled with during homeschooling?
The biggest challenge I think most parents feel when they're homeschooling is they're worried about doing enough for their kids. They want to make sure they have the education that they need, and they want to make sure that they're doing everything they need to do. And I think a big obstacle a lot of moms face is they try to do everything. And your kids don't need everything. They need you to pick out what the best things are for them.
Very nice. How do you decide what curriculums to use for your kid?
There are many ways to decide curriculums. One way is by going to one of the homeschool expos. You can go to a homeschool expo. There's a big one in Orlando, there's one down in Broward, and you can learn, there's one actually that's at Palm Beach Atlantic University every summer in August. And you get to see all different types of curriculums, and you get to put your hands on them and touch them and read them and see if they're really what you're interested in. One thing that a lot of homeschoolers get stuck on though is if they buy a curriculum, they think they have to do that curriculum. If you're doing a curriculum and you're a homeschooler and you're finding out that it's not working for your kids, you can ditch it and go to something that works better for your family.
So you base the schooling around the kids?
It's definitely geared to each child and what's best for them.
Interesting.
And you still get to do things together. For example, my kids are just about 1.5 years apart in age. Our science lessons we did all together. Our language lessons was based more on their age. Their math lessons were based more on their age.
All right. If someone came to you and asked whether they're thinking about homeschooling, what kind of advice would you give them?
The first thing I would say is get involved in a group. I was part of a group called Parents Educating Children, and we had monthly park meetings where you could bring the kids, and the kids could go and play with the other kids, providing the socialization that everyone thinks homeschoolers miss. And then you got to talk to other moms, and each month there would be a topic. We would talk about a different curriculum, or we would talk about the holidays and how to get through the busyness of the holidays and still get your lessons done. We would talk about the best field trips to go on, and we would organize them so that you were going out with kids, your own kids' ages, to do fun things so they'd have a connection. One of the things I loved about that was the American Girl Club. We met the kids at the park day and decided that we wanted to have an American Girl Club where we would have the dolls from the club and read their books, and that was part of our history lesson. So we would do a snack and a craft, all related to that part in history, so everyone got really immersed in it. But had I not had that group, I wouldn't have found those other connections and wouldn't have had those other people to talk to about it.
So definitely for the socialization part at least, you need to get hooked up with a group to do homeschooling.
It definitely helps, and it provides things besides the field trips. We had a beautiful graduation ceremony for each of the kids. We had a beautiful prom for each of the kids. So the things that society thinks oh, you can't homeschool because you'll miss this event or that event. Those things are all still covered under homeschooling.
All right, thank you so much for your time. It was wonderful talking to you, Miss Myers. We hope to have you on the show again.
Thank you so much.